Markets Regulator, Securities and Exchange Board of India and the Reserve Bank of India are reportedly probing about a dozen cases of alternate investment funds. Some of these AIFs are allegedly being used to circumvent regulations, including evergreening of stressed loan, as per a Reuters report. Now, reports also suggest that Capital Markets Regulator has detected at least a dozen cases involving 150 billion to 200 billion rupees where AIFs have been misused to circumvent rules of other financial regulators, including Reserve Bank of India. Remember, the AIF space has grown tremendously in the past, 10 times in fact in the past 5 years, to become a 8.5 lakh crore industry. The probe can lead to disclosures and greater scrutiny around this investment category. Let's discuss the implications. In fact, Feroze Azeez joining us on the show at this point in time. Feroze, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Feroze. Feroze Azeez, Deputy CEO, Anand Rathi Wealth, with us on the show. Feroze, thank you very much for taking time out. I want to begin by asking, what is the implication of such a probe into AIFs? Many reports are suggesting it's a very minuscule part of larger AIF category. Would you agree with that, number one? Number two, what sort of, allegations are we looking at and how serious are they?
Yes, from a proportion standpoint, of course, it's a smaller proportion. If you look at a few lakh crores and then see a couple of $1 billion or 150, 200 billion rupees, of course, as a proportion, it's a very small amount. Point two, AIFs, of course, have had several regulatory changes in terms of disclosures. And as time progresses, of course, the regulator would want more and more transparency. So that's a normal course of increased transparency. AIFs were brought into picture in 2013-14, and I think it's been about 10 years. A few discussion papers and a few circulars in terms of disclosure norms and other transparency matrix have happened, and I think this can catalyze it for sure. And since AIF is 1 crore minimum ticket size, I would expect an ultra HNI or an HNI to understand the implications of his purchase. So I think since it's 1 crore plus, it doesn't bother me as much because it's not a retail instrument bought by somebody who doesn't understand the underlying.
All right. So should it bother HNIs? Should it really bother people with high net worth individuals? Should it bother them, and to what extent if, AIFs come under increased scrutiny of the government? That's number one. Number two, if these allegations are proven to be true, if they are probed and the investigation proves that these allegations were in fact true, what happens thereafter?
I think HNI and ultra HNI have to be more happy about the vigilance which the regulator is doing. I think mutual funds also have had some degree of regulatory investigations in the past. And it just says that how the regulator is trying to find a needle in a haystack and successfully doing that. So I, as an HNI, if I was an AIF investor, Anand Rathi Wealth does not recommend an AIF, and it never has for the last 10, 12 years, for different reasons though. If I were an AIF investor, I would say that, yeah, somebody is watching and the regulator is very, very vigilant. And of course, refinancing of bonds is not a very non-popular concept, but anything which is circumventing an RBI rule is also being looked at, is itself a great degree of calmness that the regulators are very vigilant, and that's what I think capital markets should provide for an investor, be it a retail or an HNI. So I, as an HNI, would find comfort in this news rather than discomfort, to be honest.
All right, and I know I have to let you go. I know you have a commitment, so perhaps my last question to you: how much has the AIF fund as an industry, as a fund, grown in the past couple of years, and what sort of trajectory are you looking for AIFs in the future months and years to come?
AIFs have grown dramatically. There are three categories, A1, 2, and 3. The category 3 is largely something which can do everything under the sun, under certain degree of limitation in terms of exposure. Category 2 is mostly the closed-ended funds. Category 3 has seen the sharpest rise, and I think it will further go up because fund management, several CIOs from the mutual fund industry have also ventured into AIFs when they've started their companies and platforms, and they've done justice to people's money. So I think AIF 3 will definitely have a surge, and the growth trajectory will continue. AIF 2, I think, has not been able to deliver post-tax, post expense return. So I think that will not grow as much. So category 3, positive. Category 2, not so positive from a growth standpoint.
All right, Feroze, thank you very much for taking time out. Thank you for speaking to us here on News9.